Hey, welcome to Ceci Talk.
I'm Ceci and I'm British.
I'm Gigi and I'm Chinese. So today is our first video in YouTube. Yay! So excited. So today I have our co-host Ceci. Hey! Oh my god. So today we are going to talk about the episode of Escape to China.
We are so excited.
So, Ceci, can you give us a brief introduction of yourself?
Myself, I'm Ceci. I'm British, but I was born in Papua New Guinea, which is a country in the South Pacific. I have lived all over the world before coming to China.
So how many countries have you been to?
Oh my goodness, I have been to nearly 40 countries and counting. I have lived and worked in Iran, and I have lived and worked in Sudan. And then here I am in China.
So your footprint is literally all over the world.
Yes.
So now you are in China. I'm so curious, why China?
Why China? Oh my goodness, why China?
Yeah.
Well, it started off, I would say maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. I was watching a program on the BBC about wild China back in the UK, and that made my interest to come out to China and actually find out about this mysterious country, because I find it very mystical. But also, marriage fell apart, and so I had an offer out here in China that I couldn't refuse, and I accepted it with both arms, and then here I am.
So at what time you arrived, you landed in China?
Oh my goodness, I landed here back in February. February the 16th, 2016.
So now it's 2018.
Yes.
So literally, and next month is February.
Yes.
So it's literally nearly.
It's going to be nearly 2 years.
2 years
Since I set foot in this country, and I have loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and you have made so far.
Yeah.
So, what do you like about China so far? Like food?
Yeah. I love the people. The people are so generous, very kind and very caring, and you know the hospitality is second to none. You know, I can say that because I've got so many Chinese friends. I also love the culture as well. The culture is just wonderful. It's very family orientated. And the food, I would consider myself a foodie, not so serious foodie, but I love food, and the food here is just amazing, because there are over 30 provinces here, and the food here varies from province to province.
Yeah, I can tell. It's the Chinese. It's very diverse from province to province.
It is, and it's just wonderful. You know, it's just I love it.
And I have noticed you mentioned one word, family oriented.
Yes.
So what happens makes you, link the people here with the family oriented?
Well, one thing I have noticed since I arrived here, and also like I said before, I have got so many Chinese friends here, and family to them is the center of the universe, I think. Whereas in the West, you don't get that so much. Here, it's like the in-laws, your parents are involved so much in your life. You know, one negative part of being, this everything revolving around families.
Let me guess. Is it about like living too close, like?
Yes.
Under one roof.
Under one roof, and there is no privacy, especially if you're a husband and wife. You know, yeah, that is one thing. But apart from that, it's not a big deal.
So actually I have a question. So is it real that in the West world, the kids will live separately with parents after they're 18?
Yes, they do. They do. It depends on the families. Some kids probably stay with their parents until they're in their 20s. But generally, or the norm is people or the kids move up when they're 18.
So the kids are okay with it?
Yes, they are, because the kids look forward to their independence, and I think that's one thing that differs between the East and the West. Whereas here, people live with their families until they're married. Whereas in the West, the people or the kids move up when they're 18, and they go off and they start their life somewhere.
When I was 18, I was doing my high school, right? So it's kind of a must living with your parents.
I have many Chinese friends, and my relationship with them is just so close. They're almost like family, and I find that ever since I have been here, they have basically looked after me. Not sort of, I don't mean sort of, coming here and buying me food and stuff like that. I mean going out with them. They invite me for a meal at their home. All of my friends are very kind and generous.
Because sometimes, because I have been, worked in some companies which, bump into some foreigners, I think that quite, depends on your mindset. Because I don't know, some foreigners, they kind of, they don't have many Chinese friends. So you are one of the most, always say unique foreigners that have so many Chinese friends.
If you're a foreigner here, it's the way to go. I mean, I do have one or two foreign friends which I meet up with every now and again, but mostly they're all Chinese, and it doesn't bother me because I love my Chinese friends.
What place have you visited since you have been in China?
Oh, I have visited quite a few in the last 2 years. I would say my favorite place so far is Yangshuo. Yangshuo is on, if you see Yangshuo, the mountains of Yangshuo is just so unreal.
Yeah,
it was,
so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah. It looks like a film set. You're surrounded by beautiful mountains, mystical mountains, I would say, and then you've got the river running through.
Yeah,
it's just out of this world. It's amazing. And I've been to Xi'an, and then to Beijing, to Shanghai, and then to Qinghai, to Yangshuo, and then to Ningxia, and then to Gansu. Amazing places. Yeah. All very different in their own way.
Yeah. So just for information spreading, the Yangshuo is in Guangxi province, which located at the west of China. At the west of China, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I kind of saw that the foreigners, they know Shanghai, like every one of them, they know Shanghai, but they don't necessarily know Shenzhen and Yangshuo.
No.
It's kind of quite secret.
No, because I think when you're in the West, people know the big cities, like they know Shanghai, they know Beijing,
Hong Kong,
and also Hong Kong and Macau. But I think if you want to experience the real China, you need to come to the mainland China to experience.
Yeah, it's like the true mainland. True mainland. You go to the north part of China.
You do.
The north part of China is quite amazing. Very different from the south part of China, and Western is very different.
It is, and it's just amazing.
And the people, the personality, the temper, quite different.
Yes, all very different.
So far, how do you feel? Let's say 2 words to describe your feelings, like so far having been living in China 2 years. How would you describe? New question?
Yes. Yeah, the first one would be mysterious, and the second one would be amazingly vast. Oh no, I'm going to give you 2 words, and that would be amazingly vast. I think for anyone who's wishing or hoping to come out to China, come out here and experience it for yourself. It's an amazing country.
Yeah, so I would say if you're curious about China, just don't be, afraid of being here. Just take your first step. Just come and visit it, experience it by yourself, right?
Yes, and it only takes the first step.
Yeah, it only takes the first step, you know. I love the word mysterious. So that's why you need to experience it by yourself.
To escape to China.
Escape to China, episode 1.
Episode 1.
Like the video, do hit the like button and subscribe us.
Bye.
Bye.